Locally Owned Murfreesboro, the podcast. The people and the stories behind what makes Murfreesboro matter.
Where we get to know the people you need to know in and around the borough.
Is that we are
Woo! Good morning! This is why you pay attention to producer Trent.
Yes.
Lesson learned.
The Saturday Night Live episode where like the hands come up.
Yeah.
That's like me in the headphones.
Oh my goodness. Well, as
right,
an
taking them off.
homage, it's sweater weather. We're so excited to have a new guest today joining us with an old guest and super fan and podcaster and
podcast host.
yeah, it's a good day.
The people listening like, who is it?
We have Michael Shirley and Dr. Shirley.
Woo,
Yay!
So we have the brains
Yes.
and
You were gonna say the beauty. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the brawn, but
She's the brains and the beauty.
and you're the brawn. There you go.
I'm the whatever. People go, what do you do? And I say, whatever my wife tells me to.
That's right. Good man. So you guys co-own Family Pet Health,
That's right.
which is the only certified fear-free pet clinic in Murfreesboro.
In Rutherford County.
In Rutherford County.
Yeah.
Okay. all
So we
right.
are a fear-free certified practice,
Okay.
which means
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
what does
which-
that mean?
that means that we deliver veterinary care in a way that seeks to decrease the fear, anxiety, and stress that pets and their people experience when they go to the vet hospital. And when I say their people, I'm talking about the owners, but also the veterinary team that works in the hospital.
Huh.
Everything that we do works to create a positive environment for everybody that's involved in that experience.
and
we are
because
the only practice, like as a building, as a veterinary whole practice that is certified as a fear-free practice. There are many fear-free certified veterinary professionals in Rutherford County, but Family Pet Health is the only practice that has gone through the extra steps and inspections to be a
Mhm.
certified practice.
so everyone's on board
Every single
from the moment you walk in the door,
100%,
or before you
yeah,
walk in the
before
door.
you walk in the door. That's
right.
right.
There's no flags. I learned that. There's
I
no
know, and I was
flags.
so disappointed because I really wanted to put a flag in the front, but we cut it because whipping flags in the wind can be scary for pets when they get out of the car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
I
and-
know how bad that hurt you to not put a flag.
I know,
up.
because I really needed my Tennessee flag so I could have a little
Tell
sign
them
that shares with people the proper way to
Sure.
hang and display the
You
Tennessee
should
state
have a
flag.
beautiful plaque on the wall.
I might do that.
Or we could do a mural or
A
something.
mural.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not sure where we would
mural.
put it, but
No.
maybe on our garage educational space
Oh, that's
on
a good
that wall.
idea.
Maybe I'll get the
Yeah,
Iron Brush
and
Mural
should
Company
you
to come
know-
back out.
Heard it here
Have
first.
you had them on the podcast? The Iron Brush Mural Company?
We have not.
I'm gonna make an email introduction. I'll
Yeah.
take care of that introduction.
Thank you.
They painted the mural in our lobby, and if people want to see it, they can go to Instagram, Family
Oh.
Pet Health TN, and see it. It's beautiful.
Nice. I love it. Okay, so we've learned about fear free,
That's right.
a little bit about fear free, and I am fortunate because not only am I a podcast host, I'm a client.
That's right.
Same here.
Yay! So we both we are pet people who take our pets to Family Pet Health.
That's your ROI right there.
That's right.
You came on the podcast,
did.
and then we became
Oh,
content.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
clients,
that's
so-
very fair. And yeah, and last minute clients for my last pup, that was huge. So let's get to the meat of it and
Yeah.
ask, why Murfreesboro? What made you decide to settle in Murfreesboro for your practice?
Well, I probably like a lot of people, I got a scholarship to MTSU right out of high school. So that's why I chose to go to school here.
Yeah.
But really fell in love with it. Like I've lived in Murfreesboro now longer than anywhere else. So it's become home.
Oh, I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
But so I went to MTSU, got an animal science degree. Then I went to UT Knoxville to vet school. That's when we started dating. So we got married 2 weeks after I graduated.
Oh, wow.
And he's really tied to Murfreesboro. So that's where that's where I looked for
Yeah.
a job when I graduated.
Yeah. After we got back from our honeymoon, we lived in the same house with my little brother and my sister and my little sister. Our dad had passed away. My mom had remarried, allowed us all to stay in the house together as long as, we got to stay there for free as long as my sister was in college. So my brother David and I were like, "What do you want, Becky? We'll buy groceries." Like I'm doing David
you
and I
can
both are
keep
doing
the
the cost
rent-free.
analysis. We're like, as long as we can keep Becky happy, we have no rent. And so when we got married, she just moved into my room basically, right?
Yeah.
And so we started the job hunt. I knew that we were going to live wherever she found a job, and she was fortunate enough to find a job here in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
So we haven't ever left.
So where did you come from to go to school? Where did you?
So I actually grew up in Tracy City, which is on Mont Eagle Mountain. towards
Yes.
Chattanooga. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
fun.
just went up there this weekend and got chiggers.
Oh,
my
that's the
sister's
only reason
wedding,
you go to
right?
Tracy City.
That's
is- and a
Go
speeding
hiking,
ticket.
get some ticks and chiggers. That's where I broke my leg a couple years ago. was up there
It's
hiking.
beautiful up there, but deadly.
Dangerous.
It's deadly.
It's dangerous. So-
Yeah, it's not dangerous. Tracy City's a lovely place. So you came here to go to school, and then you said that how long have you known that you've wanted to be a veterinarian?
Yeah, I was definitely one of those that as long as I remember what a veterinarian was, I wanted to do it. So
Nice.
yeah, I
Ask
looked
her
at
what her
other
backup plan
alternatives,
was.
but
Yeah. What was your backup plan?
I didn't. You know,
She didn't
I
have
don't
one.
really
She's
know.
like-
There was no plan B.
There was no
There's
plan
no
B.
plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only job I've ever had, I waitressed one summer.
She was not
And
a good
then-
waitress.
Not a good waitress, and I've only ever worked in the veterinary field since then. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So did you grow up with lots of animals
I
or
did. Yeah, grew up horses,
raising chiggers? Just kidding.
Yeah, I had 4-H lambs,
Oh,
of course, dogs and cats and stuff too, but horses and sheep primarily. were my
that's
kids.
awesome. Man, to know what you've wanted to do your whole life. I was 40.
What's that like,
I was
right?
40 when I
I
figured
still
it out.
don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
I know, right? Well, you have to grow up first, Mike.
I know. Well, never will happen. Never will happen.
Won't allow it. That's all. Sorry, Dr. Shirley.
She's like, I wish you'd grow up.
So tell us. So you found a job in Murfreesboro. Tell us
Mhm.
kind of what led to from your job to opening your own clinic.
Right. No, I never thought that I would own my own business. So I was in a practice for many years. And even when I left there, I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I didn't have any idea. I just knew sometimes you just know it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And so I did relief work. My kids were little. That was just a wonderful time because I did basically PRN work. So I filled in for
Yeah.
people on their vacation or if they need extra help. So
Oh,
I got,
fun.
yeah, so I got the opportunity to work in about 20 odd practices in Middle
Mhm.
Tennessee.
So you saw lots of different ways
Saw
to
lots
run.
of different ways.
Oh,
I
wow.
met so many wonderful people, like everybody. And I feel like in the veterinary world is just great.
Mhm.
Everything's different, different types of practices, different, things, but
Yeah.
everybody's doing the best they can with what they have and
Yeah.
learned a ton.
And then you were like, I want to do this on my own.
Well, and I just never found a home. Like I didn't want to do relief work forever.
Mhm.
And I didn't find anywhere that I was like, oh, I'm excited to come here every single day. I had some
Oh,
job
yeah.
offers. And so we had the opportunity. We live out in the Buchanan area. There was a little practice out there called Black Fox.
Yeah.
And we got to talking with the owners of that business. And it took, went back and forth a couple of years and ended up working it out so that we bought that existing practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then rebranded it as Family Pet Health about 6 months later after we purchased it.
Mhm.
That was a unique challenge. I listened to your guests. I listened to all your episodes, and y'all-
Thanks, Michael.
it's a great podcast because it's the stories about people in Murfreesboro, in and around the borough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the things like learn, like I was trying to park to find a place, it's packed, and I'm like, Brasshorn Coffee is hopping, and like I remember the episode where it talked about how they got started, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, I used to go to shop at Florida Brothers all the time,
All the
like
time. Yeah.
like, and so Simply Pure Sweets, who they're clients of ours as well, and we've become friends. But I really enjoyed learning their story
Yeah.
by listening to the podcast, and I don't even know where I was going with that.
We
But
were talking about challenge.
yes, thank you. So I didn't do we didn't do a ground up from scratch,
Right.
build of a hospital. We took over what somebody else had already been putting effort into.
Right.
So we got a little bit of a fast track. The downside is we had to pay for that.
It's
right?
kind of like,
yeah.
it's kind of like buying into a franchise. Like it was kind of
Correct.
established.
Yeah, the
But-
thing about Black Fox was that it didn't really have a reputation, positive or negative. It was just like
It was just there.
the hospital for the Buchanan area. It was
Yeah.
like the closest one,
Right.
and that's not that. That was great for us. I mean, it was close to us as well, and we bought out the competition. Like we knew we were going to open in that area of town,
Right. Right.
and so we were able to quote unquote buy out the competition. And on day one, literally, we had a full schedule. So
Mhm.
it made financing a little easier, and it just right from the beginning, we knew that we had some sort of business, right?
Right.
But it was up to us to keep it.
Right.
And when I say we're like 180 degrees different from the people that were there before, that's true. Like what we are now is way different than what we were when we took over. And so that's been fun. Like it was kind of like starting from scratch, but what we knew we had business from the beginning, right?
That's yeah,
Mhm.
which
But-
is always a good thing.
Yeah, but we had to earn the trust. We had to make that transition for the existing clients to introduce them to Dr. Shirley, and this is now the new standards, and here's what we're doing. So the skills of communication and client education and client experience, that's my jam for
yeah.
our business. So I know Amy better than probably anybody else. And so when she was telling me the things that were important to her, I'm like, okay, what does that look like in a business thing?
Right.
So from the beginning, I was teaching full time. She's being a doctor full time. And then together we were running this business full time. So we had 3 full-time jobs, right?
Wow.
And then doing the remodel and the rebranding. It was tough.
The first year was very
It
tough.
was very tough, but clear communication of her vision. We were able to recruit great people to work with us,
Mhm.
and we've been able to strengthen our bond and recruit new people to come to Family Pet Health. Like, so now we're in Buchanan, but we service 3, 4. We have probably 4 different counties of where people drive
that's
in,
awesome.
and they're literally driving past 5 or 6 other vet hospitals to
Yep.
come to Family Pet Health because we're worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because for what they're looking for.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we're not like everybody else. I actually spoke yesterday at a veterinary school in East Tennessee, and I told them, I said, if you're not a little different, then what difference can you make? And they're like,
Oh,
because
that sound like a nugget of wisdom.
I
right there.
know, right?
Thanks.
So-
Thanks for that.
so what the point of that is it's not that like where we live in a society now where everybody thinks that they're a special individual and things, and there's lots of people that have opinions about that. I was like, all my students thought they were special, and they were all different, right?
Uh-huh.
But as a veterinary service, we do the same thing that other veterinary hospitals do, which is provide veterinary care for people's pets, right?
Right.
But the way that we're able to make a difference is that we're a little bit different. And so when we when Dr. Shirley told me about Fear Free, she goes, I want to be a Fear Free hospital. I'm like, what is Fear Free? I
What's
didn't know
that?
anything about it until
I've never heard of
2017.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when she told me about it, the first thing I thought was, that sounds like marketing. And then I'm like, that also sounds really slow. Like, I feel like that's going to really hurt our efficiencies. And she's like, no, you're wrong. I'm like, okay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And she says, this is what I want to do because it goes to our positive work culture, and it's better for the pets, and it's better for the people. And the more I've learned about it, it doesn't take more time. It is better.
Yeah.
And that's what sets us apart and makes us different.
And I think that's the way that it's going in general, like in veterinary medicine.
Yeah.
Like low stress handling is being taught more. But yeah, it's just a way that we can totally embrace it. And we're thinking about the emotional health of the pet too, not just their physical health. And we forget that we're different. I've been doing it now for 5 years, and we have students come in that have worked in different practices or other employees that have worked at other practices, and they remind us how different we are, how we
good.
approach things and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really
like
are
I-
doing it
yeah.
different. Because I think some people think, oh, well, we do that. We do treats. We do, we try not to stress out, because nobody wants to stress out the pet.
Right.
I
Right.
don't think there's
no-
any
yeah.
veterinarian
There's
that
no
says,
positive. Yeah.
There's no veterinarian out there or veterinary professional that wakes up and goes, I'm going to torture pets today. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
And we don't.
But
No.
it's
we-
just the whole mindset of like how we approach things and like just
Yeah.
what we learn and training that we do and just little things that we take for granted now.
Yeah, it's very deliberate, and it is a lot of training, and
Mhm.
it's I don't know if reprogramming is the right word. It was reprogramming for me. Like I was like, when you have clients are like, let's get it done. I'm here for a nail trim. Let's get it done. And we're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to put 4 people to hold your dog down so that it can't move so we can trim its nails. That's not good, because the next time your pet comes in,
It's not going to want to.
it's not going to want to come through the door, and it's going to try to eat us because it's not aggressive. It's scared.
Yeah.
And that's not good. It's not good for the pet. It's also not good business, because
Right.
if I'm only charging, let's say $30 for a nail trim, and I have 4 people holding the pet down, the payroll doesn't work out. Like I'm spending
Yeah.
more in payroll than I get for the nail trim. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it doesn't make sense financially either as a business. So So but it is different. And and we have clients. I'm like, hey, we're not for the nail trim is just the easy one. Like, yeah, our nail trims are expensive because I have licensed professionals doing the nail trim. Like, what would be better is why don't we teach you how to do this at home so you can do it for free? Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, then you're going to have to pay us.
That's right.
Or go to or
Yeah.
here's a list of fear-free groomers that you should go there.
Yeah.
It'll be a little less expensive because I'm paying doctors and licensed veterinary technicians and licensed or certified veterinary assistants. They're expensive
Yeah.
to pay, like to work. And
Yeah.
so that's why my nail trim prices are higher.
That makes sense. So you've been fear-free since 2017 is
We
Uh,
bought the practice in 2018,
18.
and
Okay.
then what was about a year later?
A
Maybe
year
we're-
later, in 2019, we became a fear-free certified hospital.
wow.
So, but right from the beginning, 100%, from the very beginning, in March of 2018, when we purchased and started Family Pet Health, 100% of our team is fear-free certified and has been
Nice.
since 2018.
So like for me, I know what that means because like I walk in, my dog walks in, he jumps on the couch and he's like, okay, what are we doing today?
Yeah, right.
Super
And somebody
chill.
goes, a couch. Like, yes,
oh,
our examiner
yeah.
has a couch.
It
and
has a couch.
little
It doesn't have a
fireplace. Yeah.
silver metal table that
Yep.
that's covered in hair because they shiver and shake.
Yeah,
and
right.
So can you briefly say, like, when I walk through the door, like, or when I park the car, like what does fear free kind of look like to someone who has no idea what that means?
Sure. Yeah. So it definitely starts in the parking lot, even before that, preferably like at home, like you're doing things. Sometimes we have a lot of patients that come in on what we call pre-visit pharmaceuticals, PVPs, which is medication. So if we already have a dog that we know has anxiety to go to the vet, or a cat, a lot of times we have them come in on medication, and then we have them stay in the car until we have their room ready. So we have them call when they arrive, or they send us, we do a lot of texting. And so they'll let us know when they arrive so that we can take them directly into their room. We don't have like a waiting room, lobby.
There's no seating in our lobby.
So you're not sitting there waiting with 5 other dogs
Correct.
and just stressing everybody
Correct.
out.
Correct.
And
When you
Yeah.
pull
Okay.
in, you're going to call when you arrive, and we're going to tell you either to go straight to your exam room from the parking lot, because 6 of our 10 exam rooms have doors to the outside.
oh,
So
wow.
you can walk straight from the parking lot into your exam room, or we might need you, like maybe you have a cat in a carrier. You're going to come into the lobby. You're not going to encounter other pets waiting. You're going to get to come in. You're going to be greeted warmly by our receptionists that are in there, our CSRs. They're going to take you straight to your room and get you checked in and settled in your room. And that's where we do everything. We
And
don't.
once they're in there, we do pheromone therapy, which there's Feel Away for cats and Adaptil for dogs, which is a calming pheromone. And so we do that on blankets or bandanas. We have diffusers plugged into the wall. We try to have music playing in the background, sound control. We're still working with our new facility on some of the
Yeah.
sound control, but just different things to try to minimize that they're not reacting to sights, smells, sounds throughout the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing that you'll notice when you walk in
Mhm.
is that there is no smell. There's not a smell of pee. There's also not a smell of
Antiseptic.
cleaners. Like you're not
or
going to smell bleach
medicine
or medicine. It's the absence of smell is actually what clean is, in our opinion. Like when you walk in and you don't smell anything, that's clean. If you walk in and you smell Pine Sol, that's us trying to mask the smell with a cleaner.
Right.
So we use a product called Rescue, which is accelerated hydrogen peroxide. It's what they use on the space station.
Ooh.
Out of this world.
Does it work upside down? Just
It
kidding.
does, yeah, everywhere. So, but that's the cleaner that we use, and when we clean it up, we hope at the end that there's no smell at all.
And
So-
I think one of the biggest things we do that not every practice does, but we don't ever take the pet out of the exam room. So everything we do, we don't take it to the treatment area or to the back. or
Oh
away
yeah,
from the
that
pet
always broke
parent.
my heart. And it's like, you're gonna go
Yeah.
back there with all the barking dogs
Right.
and get
Yeah.
your shots
Yeah.
and your tests and
And I hear that a lot. Like there's a lot of pushback from the veterinary community that, well, they do better without the pet parent there. And we have not found that to be true. Because even during COVID, when we were doing remote, like animals were coming in without their pet parents. And it was a big difference in their stress level because we track their stress level. That's one thing that we do.
Mhm.
As part of their medical record is we give them a number on how stressed they are. And you can actually see that they're more stressed away from somebody
from
that
their
they
pet.
trust.
Oh, sure. It makes perfect sense.
So if you come in for annual, we're doing the shots and we're doing the fecal testing and the urine samples and a blood collection, we do all that in the room in front of you. So we actually, we don't do any fecal collection in the room unless they poop in the room.
Right.
But we do not stick things up their rear end. Like, we ask you to bring in a sample
Yep.
on your way in,
Done
because that is way less invasive.
for sure.
Right. And
Right.
it's way less stressful for the pet. There's no wonder that they're stressed to come in if they know that, oh, this is a place that pokes me, prods me, and separates me from the one thing that gives me comfort, my pet parent there.
Yeah.
And so we don't do any of those things. So
Yeah.
if we do a blood collection, we do it in the room in front of the pet parents.
Yeah.
And if they're like, oh, I can't stand the sight of blood, then, well, we're going to ask you to leave the room versus taking your pet out. Because every time you move locations with a pet, they have to readjust to a new surrounding.
That makes
Right.
So
sense.
if they've already acclimated to the exam room, that's where we're going to keep them.
Got
If
it.
you don't want to watch the blood collection, either close your eyes and we'll tell you when it's over.
Yeah, turn around.
Because you understand English, or leave the room, and then we'll let you know when you can come back in.
Right.
And that works. The pet is less stressed by you just leaving than by us taking them out. 6 of our 10 exam rooms, not only do they have a door to the outside, but they also have an outdoor patio area where we can actually do the exam outside on the patio. And like right now, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Here it is. We're middle of October. It's great weather. We can actually do those exams outside. And for dog, like a lot of our dog, we don't do cat exams outside, but the dogs
And they're gone.
and they're gone. The dogs are quite happy outside, and then the people are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one last week that I couldn't give an injection to, but took it out on the patio. Totally different response. Like, was so distracted and didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And then
That's one thing that I love. My husband
Yeah.
loves too. Is that when it's like you don't see the shot. Like my husband's like, I didn't have to see a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are like, are you going to do shots? And we're like, we already did them. Like, what? The dog didn't even move. Like, yeah, when you were feeding it that whipped cream cone, that's when we gave the shots. The dog didn't know, and the people didn't know. We're
Right.
like, but here's the empty needles, like syringes.
Ta-da,
Like, we
promise.
promised we did it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
So you're talking a lot about your exam rooms and your murals, but we didn't talk about the specific when you actually opened this new facility. How long have you been open?
We moved
Since
in the third week of June,
June. Yeah.
and then we had our grand opening on July the 15th.
Yes.
And we had about 350 to 400 people that were there.
Nice.
It was
Amazing.
packed.
Yes.
And it was really cool. I thought we had the most creative system for giving tours. And we had a passport
Like,
that people went
have you
around,
ever
got
toured
stamps.
a vet hospital, by the way?
No.
I mean, I did before it got open.
It was like
I
come
had a
in the
hard hat
come in the
and
door,
everything.
and we're gonna go out that door, and then you're gonna go
Yeah.
out this door and pay, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, you haven't taken a tour of the hospital yet?
Not yet.
Oh, well, come on by.
I know.
Yeah.
I promised Bandit we would do a
happy visit.
yeah. Happy visits. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So we encourage, so listeners, this is your invitation. You can just call Family Pet Health if you're in the area and you have your pet. Stop by, get a whipped cream cone. We'll put your pet up on the scale and walk around the building and let them, just have a good, pleasant experience with nothing happening to them except rewards. And that way they associate the coming to Family Pet Health as a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is that place where I get treats.
Yes.
And this is that place where everybody pets me and
I feel loved
and
and
I feel loved.
yeah, I love it. So
And people can, we believe this is something that happened when I switched endocrinologists. So I have type 1 diabetes, and I was with the same endocrinologist for a very long time. And one day after I had been waiting in the exam room for an hour and 15 minutes with no one checking on me, I opened the door and I left it open because I was like, where is everybody? Then they got mad at me for opening the door. And I was like, you know what? While I'm sitting in there, I pulled out my phone and I started looking for a new doctor.
yeah.
And when I was calling around, no one would just like talk to me. I was like, I have some questions for the doctor. You can make an appointment. Like, you can schedule an appointment. We need to get your records first. I'm like, no. I don't want my doctor is mean and she will be mad at me if she knows that I'm looking.
Yeah, don't tell her.
Yeah. And I said, I don't know that I want to switch. I have questions before I make that decision. That's a really important relationship in my medical journey, personal medical journey, right? My relationship with my endocrinologist. I remembered what that felt like.
Mm.
And for for people that are thinking about switching veterinarians, I want to make it as easy as possible for them to learn about family pet health. That's why we have the Family Pet Podcast. That's why our website is really in depth and detailed. That's why we're on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Is we want people to be able to at their rate learn more about us. They can also go online and schedule a tour, a free tour, where we're going to show you through the whole hospital. We're going to answer all your questions, and we're going to give you a little face time with the doctors just so you can meet them. Not an appointment, but like, just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And we want you to feel good about coming to Family
Your
Pet
decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you walk through and you're like, this is too much, like all the stuff that they do here, this is too much. The bandanas and the whipped cream cones, I just want to get in and out. Well, we're not the place for you.
Right.
But if you're looking for a veterinary partner who believes in
Yeah.
education and wants you to have a good experience and connection and trust, those are our core values. We want to showcase that on the tour and
Yeah.
make that. And we do those in person. We also do them on Zoom. Like we'll do a video tour if that's what somebody wants.
Nice.
But we believe that it's a veterinary partnership, and we want you to feel good about your choice.
Right.
And so you were on Manchester Highway,
Mhm.
and now you're on,
Richard Reeves Drive.
which is off of Joe B. Jackson.
Correct. Really close to Amazon. We're on the same side of Joe B. Jackson as Amazon.
Nice.
And we're back in the new Swanson development that's there, and they're building all these little 2,000 square foot warehouse units that are connected, so you can rent like 1 or 10. And there's all sorts of little micro businesses going in there.
Ooh.
So we're really excited. Like there's a rug store that just moved in beside us. I was like, I went and bought Dr. Shirley some new sheets for the bed while she was
Aw.
gone. Because so it's really cool to see these other small businesses getting started up and down Richard Reeves Drive, and
Yeah.
we're excited
Nice.
about what's happening out there on that side of the county.
Yeah. I should talk
Buc-ee's
to
is
that.
coming.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so we do like to now that we've learned about the business, as a business, your full-time jobs, and then also Stephen Shirley is in the mix.
Yep,
The not
that's
so
my
cool
older
brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
My older but not wiser brother. Yeah.
There you go. What would you say as a business is your biggest struggle?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot. Like when we first started, it was rebranding, and we had to replace a lot of things and innovate.
Oh man, yeah.
Our X-ray machine, literally, was one of the only things that worked when we bought it, and then it blew up a few months. Literally exploded.
like a bomb.
What?
Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Oh,
And
my
then,
gosh.
so we had to replace a lot of things. We had to go from paper medical records to electronic. Just trying to update technology, and
Sure.
so there was a lot of that.
What do you think now? What do you think?
Then I think we kind of outgrew our space. That was our
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
challenge
Whoa.
for several
Okay,
years.
and
We
now
were
you have
working out of a back annex building.
Yeah.
We had, we were just busting at the seams. And so now we're in this beautiful new space and have all the room. And so now we're so new into that. Obviously that comes with a lot more overhead, a lot more expense. And so
Right.
now I think our biggest challenge is how do we manage that?
Scale the
just
practice,
What's
yeah.
it going to take to cash flow? Are we doing things right? Just as a new business owner,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
things you worry about. So, and just
Yeah.
keeping our team. We couldn't have done this without the people that we have. Like our
You do
team
have
is-
a great team.
We
Yeah.
have the best.
What is the
team.
book that you all read?
We require everyone before they can come in for an in-person interview, they have to read a book called The Energy Bus
The
by
Energy
John
Bus.
Gordon.
I was like, the something bus. I knew it was
the
the
Energy
bus.
Bus.
The
And
Energy Bus.
we there's 10 rules to fuel your life with positive energy and life work and with positive energy, and it is part and parcel to what we do at Family Pet Health.
I love it.
And so it's
So if you're a
interesting,
small
like,
business owner and you
yeah.
want to build a great team, the Energy Bus.
the Energy
Yeah.
Bus.
Yeah.
Yep. If you ain't on it, if you're not ready to ride the Energy Bus with Family Pet Health, don't just just don't even come over. We'll pull the bus over and let you off.
That's right.
Yep.
It's totally fine if it's not
Sometimes
for you.
people sneak on and we find out that they're not going where we're going. So we pull the bus over and let them off.
There you
And,
go.
no energy vampires allowed. That's what the energy. That's one of the rules of the Energy
No
Bus.
energy
And
vampires.
that's the main thing when we started the business was that I wanted it to be a place where I enjoyed going to work every day.
Yeah.
And I want my team to feel that too. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're dreading, their daily interactions. And it's not that, every day is its own challenge. Like
Right.
yesterday we had a tough day where we felt short staffed, and people were stressed, but it's just how do we we try to address those things and not let it become like a chronic issue.
Oh
So
man.
we try to really listen to our team and say, okay, what are you struggling with today? And,
Yep.
and just try to really listen and
be
Yeah.
listening and then responding to what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that's also, I think, one of our biggest. I know you asked about successes next,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I was gonna say I feel like we've led into a lot of
I
wins.
think
Yeah.
the success is our team and what we've been able to accomplish in 5.5 years. When we first sat down and worked on our goals, we said at the end of year 5, we want to be designing a new hospital. And instead, at the end of year 4, at the beginning of year 5, we were moving into a new hospital.
Yeah.
And I just think,
Yay for ahead of goal.
Yeah,
Ahead of goals.
seriously.
Yeah.
yeah. And the connections, with Spread the Positive network, I listened to the podcast with Dow Smith Company, which is a
Yeah.
local company. You should have them on too if you haven't.
I gotta get Dow on for
Dow
sure.
would be a good one to have on. I've only met him once, but the rest of his team is awesome, right?
Yeah,
They're-
Taylor Laurel's there.
Yep.
So yeah,
And so, I listened to and I was like, that's who we want to use as our contractor.
for sure.
And it's like all these, just the right people have always been a part of the
Mhm.
family pet health journey. And I think a lot of it has to do with going back to Dr. Shirley's original thing about like, I want to enjoy going to work every day and I want to surround myself with people with whom I want to work every day.
Yeah.
And we believe that if you take care of your team, they'll take care of the rest. And that's
proven true.
Our team depends on us to provide a clear vision for family pet health. And
Right.
then by having a clear vision, we're able to recruit, retain, and promote relationships with our team, with our clients, with our patients, with the students that come through our office. Like, we want to change veterinary industry, the veterinary industry, starting with family pet health.
Right.
That's why we open ourselves up to students, is that they can come through. We hope that we provide them a positive experience that they can, maybe they don't come back and work for us, but they're going to
Right.
work somewhere, and they can take the lessons that they've learned from family pet health and put those into actions at their practices.
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, how many students went through and are now working somewhere and it's like, man, I really miss that family pet
Yeah.
health.
So we hope that they'll call us back.
I mean, because I can say, and I'm 100% sure that she would agree with me, is that as a business owner, you're like, I want to do this for a living and I want to make a living and I want to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think most people who start a business say the same thing, but then so many things get in the way. So kudos for, and I mean, what I'm hearing is communication and then the right team members and then investing in those team members. I just love seeing all the photos on Instagram and stuff where like the team's together, like we moved everything together. We hung the thing on the wall together. Like it's, I mean, I won't lie. If I went back to the workforce, I would be like, hey guys.
We put you on our CSR team in a hot minute. Like it would be on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
I think, and I want to touch on one thing personally, struggles like for the small business owners that are out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that Dr. Shirley and I, over the past 5.5 years, but especially the past year, have struggled like with our personal connection, where we've put so much focus on our team and our business that
Right.
we're like this is my person. Like Dr.
Yeah.
Shirley is my person. And I know that I was listening to,
They're
the
married.
comedian.
Did we say that?
That's
They're
right.
married.
What's the comedian Nate
Bargatze.
Yeah. So I was listening to one of his bits in the car the other day, and he was talking about, a fight that he and his wife had. He goes, this wasn't like a newlywed fight. This was like a 10+ year fight, like the kind where you're just like, I'm going to win for one,
Yeah.
like we've moved way past stuff. We're like in deep, like we've been together. I know that we're together. And
Yeah.
so it's easy to say I only have so much time in the day. I only have so much energy. I've dedicated it all to my team and my business and my clients and my customers and my kids. I don't have anything left. So who gets neglected? My wife. Well, that's stupid. Like
Right.
if you do that for too long, then it makes it really hard to fix.
Hold on, I'm taking notes.
Yeah. So I think that's been one of my personal struggles, is like feeling like I need to go back to dating my wife more.
Oh yeah.
And if the business stuff is always going to be there.
And that's working together. So for those of you who do work with your spouse, great. Chantel, Matthew.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep posting the pics, by the way. But for me, like we spend so much time apart and we both come home
Drained.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, is it okay? Like we're together. Is
Yeah.
that good for
Yeah.
for now? Okay,
Mhm.
thanks.
High five or good night. Yeah.
That's right. We're gonna watch a show
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and just be in the presence of each other. But
Yeah.
I look that way because he's sitting in his recliner beside me in my brain. But that too seems neglectful as well.
Yeah.
So
And
kudos.
yeah, I mean, it's just be mindful of it. The success,
Yeah.
the flip side of success is like we're still together. Like, we've worked in the same building for the past 5.5 years and have grown something special.
And Dr. Shirley has not murdered you.
Correct.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we get small doses.
Right. Can you
So-
imagine? And then I have a daughter that's just like me. Yeah, so poor introverted Dr. Shirley is like, she's like, I've used all of my touches today and my communications. I'm done with
That's
words.
right. I've worded all the
So-
words. Yeah.
So you just that especially for small business owners, I think it's just something to be mindful of, and that maybe we
Yeah.
don't talk about
Well,
enough.
it's just like everybody. It just feels so busy. Like it's just it feels like there's always stuff that you need to be doing. Or
Yeah.
and I'm a perfectionist, so it's you feel like things are not ever quite the way you want it to be.
Or if
So
I'm
those-
not
that can-
doing it, it's not getting done right.
Yeah, and it can be a little
Mhm.
overwhelming just to think of all the things that we're trying to accomplish.
and I'm not a finisher. Like I start things but don't finish them, which is super stressful.
So
for
you're the
everybody.
big
Yeah.
idea guy.
Yeah,
Correct.
he's the
So
big
if
idea guy.
anybody out there, also small business owners, read EOS, track the book Traction by Gino Wickman. We started using that 1.5 years ago. It fundamentally changed our business.
Mhm.
And there's a part in there about, hey, I am the visionary for family pet health.
Right.
And the book says, know thyself and be free. And then the second part is there's the integrator, which is like
Oh,
the
yeah.
person who puts it
The
all into
worker,
action,
yeah.
right? And it says, know thyself and be stressed.
Oh.
And as long as you know what your role
And when you're a
is,
single
You're
soul
everything.
owner,
Yeah, you're both.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
we're free and stressed.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
free
yeah,
and
Or
you're free
find
and
good
stressed.
partners. Like
Oh.
find good people to
correct.
do
Yeah.
the
So-
ideas
So
that you have.
go pull out your Spotify and go back and listen to all the episodes of Locally Owned Murfreesboro and find there's so many good people on
So many
here that have-
integrators and so many.
and there was the accountant that was a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
I ran into her. at an-
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I heard you on the podcast. She's like, do you need some help? And I'm like, well, actually, I already have an accountant. But if I didn't, you would be the call
Oh,
that I would
that's
make. So
awesome.
I think that there's a lot of people that are in Murfreesboro and that are positive people and wanting to invest in Murfreesboro and do that you got to put together a group of people
Yeah.
to help you. But EOS was really awesome. And so I am the visionary. We have Stephanie as our integrator, not Dr. Shirley, actually. And so Stephanie and I meet once a week. We have a meeting later today where I just like get to dump out all of my dreams and ideas and things, and she'll write them down. And then just like Amy does in our personal life, she's like, okay, that's great. I appreciate you sharing that. We'll come
Thanks
back to
for
those. But what
sharing.
about finishing these other things from last week? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, I'll go do that.
It was a good idea last week. Now, not so much.
So,
Yeah.
so that has helped me, and it has definitely helped our business to have roles and responsibilities, what we're each accountable for in our business.
Even though I feel for my business, I'm a visionary, I think for other people, I'm definitely an integrator. Like I loved, I just wrote my kind of minute speech again to kind of keep in my pocket. And one of them is, if you can dream it, we can do it. So like,
Yeah.
if you like, I want to do this with my team and I want it to do this and this and this, I'd be like, got you.
Yep.
Like I'm the person that can see A and B and I can get you there.
Mhm.
So it's, know
Mhm.
thyself. Like that was, I remember like thinking that and being like, yes.
Yeah.
So for my business, I have to be all the things, but for most people, I'm an
Mhm.
integrator. Like I'm a
Yeah.
doer. let's figure it out. So that
Yeah.
made me feel like, whoa,
Yeah.
I can
And
power
allotting time for both. If you are solo, allotting time for dumping
Both.
all those ideas on a piece of paper
Yeah.
or on like digital. Okay, I got those ideas out of my head. Maybe I need to revisit it or talk about it with someone later. If you're solo, and then
Mhm.
work on the things that are going to generate cash flow,
Yep,
which is
exactly.
actually
That's right.
doing the A
Yeah.
to
You
B
gotta
or
kinda do
whatever.
those things. Yeah.
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 You gotta sit down and
Because
do
you
them.
can't suppress the idea part, because then you lose your spark for
Your-
what
yeah,
what
your
you're
Then
why.
love
you're
doing.
not
Yeah.
different anymore, because
Yeah.
everybody's going to catch up with you, and then you're
Mhm.
the same as everybody else, and that
Right.
you can't make a difference in my opinion. I've got to refine that a little bit. Like if you're not a little different, then what difference can you make? I don't know if that may be too broad of a blanket statement, but
it is.
but
And
it makes
that's-
sense in my head.
I
Like,
understood. The
we gotta be a
visionary.
little
I
different,
see
yeah.
you.
That's right. Thank you. I'm not ready to put it on a t-shirt just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it because I'll get a call like one day and he's like, I have this idea. And I'm like, ooh, I love
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah.
Let's make it happen. So yeah, I like that
I'm
very
like,
much.
it's an idea. I gotta share it with somebody,
Yeah.
and then
Not somebody that's gonna be like, Michael.
yeah. Well, I don't mind I don't mind to have somebody
Be like, slow
reality
your
check
roll.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that.
Oh.
Otherwise, I'll be starting 50 different projects. I need that in my life. That a reality check. Like
Mhm.
that's fine, but we're not ready to do
Everybody
that
needs
yet.
a
If you
Dr.
want to do
Shirley.
that, here's what I need from you. And that's what Amy does, what Dr. Shirley does for me, and Stephanie does that. Like that's a good idea. If you want to do that, then this is what I need from you. And then I can decide, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do those things. So that's we'll just throw that over to the
Yeah,
side.
that's right.
But we can talk about it. Or it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I need you to do these things so we can get that done.
Right.
And that's why Family Pet Health, we take a team approach, and we have our traction team meeting every other week. Our CSRs are meeting, our doctors are meeting, the medical team is meeting. And you may say, well, that's a lot of meetings. It is a lot of meetings, but having those deliberate times to set aside and work on the business instead of in the business is very, very important.
I feel like
And-
Michael needs to do a tour, a talking tour.
Mhm.
Sponsored by Locally Owned Murfreesboro
Let's do it.
Podcast.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
anything
here I
that-
go being a visionary.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me I'm crazy.
But-
Hey, we can do
but-
virtual webinars.
That's right.
Yeah, we
But-
can.
Yeah, that's right. So at Family Pet Health, every single person on our team is working on something to help the team accomplish our
the
goals.
team, the practice.
So there's
Mhm.
20 people working on a
Because
project.
everybody knows your goals.
That's right. And
Communication.
they've all agreed to them, and we're
Yeah.
all moving in the same direction.
They've all given their
I
ounce
think
of
it
blood.
would make people be happy to be part of the team, not just like going to work. It's like, oh wow, like there's
Yeah.
part of growth here. Like I
100%.
might be able to move into a different role, or
And
what I
feeling
say
valued.
matters. Yeah.
Feeling valued. I
Mhm.
cannot express to you
Mhm.
enough. I will go above and beyond and over the moon for someone who I know values me.
Yep.
So that's huge.
Cool.
Wow. I feel
We've
like
got
we've learned a lot. We've learned a
Yeah.
lot.
Aren't you glad we got Dr. Shirley?
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
They were like, we need to have you on again with because we have video now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can't come unless Dr. Shirley can make it
Yes.
because I'm not actually a doctor. I don't perform veterinary services. Like,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
now they can put the face with the family.
Yes.
This-
Absolutely.
this is a person who
Absolutely. And
actually
I
gets
can
taken care of your
personally
pet.
say it made a huge difference in my life and my pet.
Yes.
So thank you for that. So now's a good stopping point, and let's hear from our wonderful sponsor, Cultivate Co-working. Cultivate Co-working is a welcoming community offering an alternative office space for independent workers, freelancers, nonprofits, and small business owners. Our goal is to help small business owners and independent workers grow their business and create a useful, lively network of like-minded professionals in the Murfreesboro area. Visit cultivatecoworking.com for more information. Awesome. Thank you, Cultivate Co-working, for being our monthly sponsor of our This or That segment.
You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you can get with this because this is where it's at.
All right. We had a little background singer over
Yeah.
here.
So this is our rapid fire. Michael knows, but Dr. Shirley, you give your answer too.
Okay.
First one, staycation or vacation?
Vacation.
Vacation,
Yay. Movie or TV show?
TV show,
Oh, wow.
Macaroni salad or potato salad?
Is it made with mayonnaise or mustard?
Mayonnaise?
Potato salad.
potato salad.
That's maybe
I don't
mustard.
I don't like mustard in my potato salad
Oh, okay.
or onions
I
or
don't-
Isn't
grapes.
there-
Who puts grape? Why do people put grapes in
Raisins?
potato? Yeah, what the heck? I know. Yeah. So,
I didn't like potato salad to start with. Now I really don't like it. All right. And then for Dr. Shirley, big animals or small animals?
Small.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a horse, but yeah,
Yeah, you prefer
I do
to.
love cows, but I've just admit I'm a cat person.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
I would like a big cat.
How
Nice.
Well, like a tiger?
I just saw.
I mean, I think that would be so
Tiger
cool.
King.
I just saw a 30-pound Maine Coon.
King.
I can have tigers at the farm. It's
I
gonna be
just
nice.
saw an article on Google about a 30-pound Maine Coon. Yeah.
That will be like when the kids leave the house. I will get her a Maine Coon cat.
Aw. We love Fanny Manny at Oakland's Mansion as a Maine Coon. I've learned
Mhm.
about my cats lately. So my husband
Is
is
he a Norwegian
allergic.
elk cat? what is it? It's a forest cat.
Oh, there's a forest cat.
It's even bigger than Maine. They're bigger than Maine Coons. They're
Oh my
humongous.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have bobcats roaming our neighborhood.
Yeah, they
now.
don't make good
Mhm.
pets.
No, they're
they
not real
carry-
sweet.
They carry ticks, Lone Star ticks, that for bobcat fever, also known as, what's the technical word for that?
Cytox zoonosis.
Yes.
Ooh.
So if you have a cat, you need to have it on flea and tick prevention. Otherwise, it could get bobcat fever.
Right.
Ooh.
The
That
tick
is-
stuff is no joke. We've even had cats on tick prevention get it. So definitely talk to your vet about what's the best.
Yeah.
approach.
Gotcha.
It's very deadly.
Working in a little education there.
Oh,
You can learn
dang.
about Cytox on the next episode of the Family Pet Podcast, wherever you download your favorite podcast.
Yes. And I would certainly like to plug Family Pet Health Podcast because like whenever I had it, like I was like, I don't know, is my dog aggressive? And I like go and look like, oh yeah, there's one about aggression. And it's not, I can't say 100% of the time, but 99% of the time it's not aggressive. It's scared or
Right.
sick or like, so it's not just for the sake of being aggressive. Like something's wrong.
They the guest called it distance encouraging behavior or something. Basically, the dog saying,
Yeah.
"Stay away from me. I don't
Yeah.
feel good," or "Stay away from me. I'm scared."
And I learned because my daughter is a big nerd and probably should have been a veterinarian, but she's like, Mom, I don't know if you noticed, but when you walk Bandit and he's barking at other dogs, he's standing between you and the dog. Like he's not just like he's protecting you.
Yeah, he's scared.
And I was like,
yeah,
Wow,
Yeah.
he loves
He
me.
loves me. We all love you.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Yes.
Speaking of love, let's talk to our
Yes.
lovely Marissa with our
Be,
Be
present.
present.
Nugget of wisdom. So this speaking of being visionaries, and we're gonna get a quote from Jamie Kern Lima. You're worthy of your great hopes and wildest dreams, exactly as you are.
Wow.
Your worthiness is not conditional. Embrace your authentic self.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
Know
today's
thyself.
Know thyself. Thank you,
Yes.
Socrates.
Know thyself. Be free.
No, what does he say?
Or
Shout out,
stressed.
Socrates.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Socrates. That's what he said. Sorry. That's my Ted Lasso quote of the day.
Oh yes.
Know
To always
thyself.
have
Rest in
one.
peace, Socrates.
No, but yeah, I think as business owners, we have to not let other people's opinions get in the way of our dreams. And I think it's easy to
Yeah,
let
tuning
that happen.
out the noise, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not family pet health isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's fine. It's for us and it's
Yeah.
for our team and it's for the 3,000 clients that we have.
Yeah.
And so, when you know what you want to do and you have a clear vision, stick with it and tune out the noise and
Yeah.
make it work.
That's kind of the running theme that I've heard is Dr. Shirley said, this is what I want to do. And she got a partner who's like, let's do it. And then just drove the bus until everybody got on the energy bus.
Right.
And that to me, like and maybe it's because it's what I needed to hear, but that strong communication of you're constantly communicating, and working on a nonprofit board or whatever, they're constantly like, does this match our vision? Does this match
Right.
our mission?
Mhm.
And that's something that I have just been for fear of making money. I've just been like, well, I'll do that and I'll do that and I'll do that. But does it match
Right.
what I
Right.
set out to do? Because if I don't match what I set out to do, then I'm not going to find fulfillment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
reach
Not
my
do your best
goal.
job.
When you
not
are
do
a,
my best
when
job.
you are a small business owner that dreads going to work,
Oh yeah,
you have nobody to blame but yourself.
that's right.
Like
That's very true.
it's your work. Like you're the entrepreneur. You started it.
Yeah,
If you don't like it, you also can change it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just talked about this last night at LMU. It's like I could decide we could decide to change our business model and be the low cost, high volume clinic.
right.
Well, that's fine. We can do that. We're the owners, but we have to
Own it.
decide, like we have to announce that to our team and they have to decide whether that's what they want to do. We have to announce that to our clients because it would be 180 degrees from
Right.
where we were. They would have to agree that that's what they want to do too. And so you're in charge of you are the energy bus rule number 1 is you are the driver of your own bus. You cannot
Mm,
control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it.
right.
Where you set your destination. And so, yeah, family pet health is our shared vision now, But it all started because my wife wanted to create her ideal work environment, so that she could create her place that she's going to retire from, and that's what we're doing.
And I would say to any small business owner, if you need a boost, contact Michael Shirley and just sit down for coffee and just feel the energy, soak it up, and then take it back to you and your team, or you and your team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Team meeting. So,
Yourself.
so tell everyone how to find Family Pet Health on all the things. So
the
address.
the easiest place to go and learn all about Family Pet Health is simply go to our website, familypethealth.com.
Okay.
It's very easy. familypethealth.com. There you'll find our contact information, directions, social media. You'll see our lovely pictures,
FAQs,
all
podcasts.
sorts of educational
Yep.
resources, links to other podcasts that we've been on, everything that you want to know about Family Pet Health. You can find it at familypethealth.com.
There you go. Ta-da. And then tell us the address again.
It's 3907 Richard Reeves Drive,
And then
which is located right off of Joby Jackson at exit 84B, as in boy. And again, just go to familypethealth.com and you can find it there.
awesome. Very cool.
Awesome.
So for all of our pet parents, if you've thought about switching pet care,
And even if you haven't,
even if you haven't, go for a pup
visit.
cup.
I mean, you may be totally fine, but you might learn that the Family Pet Health way is even better.
That's
Yeah.
very
And
fair.
You didn't even know you were unhappy until you come to familypethealth.com and learn all about us.
That's
Take the
right.
tour.
And I will say, if you walk your dog in a stroller, Family Pet Health is for you.
That's but also if you just walk your dog, Family Pet Health is for you, because every year we have our Walk My Dog Challenge, which is a 8-week
Yeah.
program where we give you prizes just for walking your dog.
Yeah, and we
Yes.
didn't even talk about drive-through services.
Oh yeah, we have.
So yeah, so
That's
many
a part too.
awesome
which
things.
we got to during the monsoon rains that we've had the past couple of weeks. Like
Yeah.
we just popped open our garage doors. People pulled in, shut the doors. They got out. They're like, "This is amazing."
Mhm.
We're like, "Yeah." Everybody was happy.
Yay!
they were all
You'd-
dry.
who'd have knew that was
I know.
just amazing. Okay,
Thanks. Shout out to Dow Smith for not letting me cut that from our floor plan.
good job, Dow. Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Shirley, it was great to have you on.
Thank you.
I
It
love
was fun.
seeing your face at things. I mean, we
Listen,
like seeing Michael's face too,
I
but
understand.
yeah, as a super fan, we love
Yeah.
having him on. So, well, Murfreesboro, now you know, familypethealth.com. Check them out, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Locally Owned Murfreesboro, the podcast. New episodes every Wednesday on all your favorite podcast platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Locally Owned Borough.